I've got news for you.
Welcome. We're the two teachers, and you're watching CitizenView,
where citizens come to talk.
Say, what a week, Andy. What a week in politics. We're watching the new term of the United States Supreme Court open, but we're also watching another Bond film because 50 years ago this week, we watched the Bond franchise begin.
Oyez, 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 God save this honorable court, is how every Supreme Court hearing begins. The Supreme Court begins like clockwork the first Monday of October every year, just like every Bond film opens with that classic soundtrack. They're very similar.
Say, let's talk about how the Bond movies remind us of the Supreme Court. Andy, it was 50 years ago this week. The first Bond movie, Dr. No, reminds us of really the ultimate power that our Supreme Court has, the power to say no.
The original Dr. No was Chief Justice John Marshall, who in the Supreme Court case of Marbury versus Madison, essentially the Supreme Court gave itself the power of judicial review, which means the power to say no to laws by Congress, presidential actions, and even laws by states.
The Supreme Court rules on the constitutionality of law, the ultimate no. How about the movie You Only Live Twice, Andy? This speaks to the court's jurisdiction. We know that the United States Supreme Court does not hold original jurisdiction. Rarely do they hear a case for the first time. They hear it for a second time. They have what's called appellate jurisdiction.
It is very common that the Supreme Court is hearing a case that's been in the court system for 4 or 5 years. So it's already had a hearing at the trial level, at the federal district court, or it's had an appeals at the federal circuit court. So yes, the Supreme Court hears it for the second time. You only live twice.
One of my favorite Bond movies, For Your Eyes Only. What a song. But it reminds me how our Supreme Court reaches their decisions. It's not public, it's not televised. The vast majority of their work takes place in private. They are a secretive franchise.
You can hear oral arguments, but only through audio tape. You cannot see them on TV cameras. And when the Supreme Court actually meets, when the 9 justices meet to discuss the case, they're meeting in a private closed-door meeting. It happens every Friday during the court term. It's called the conference. And not even their aides or assistants are allowed that room. It's only the 9 justices. It's for their eyes only.
Say, I got a film for you that maybe you've forgotten, that Pierce Brosnan 007 series, but Golden Eye. Say, we've lost a lot of trust in our president and our Congress, but the Supreme Court still maintains that trust level because of that golden eye. We trust them to arbitrate the most difficult political decisions for us. What do we do with Obamacare? What do we do with immigration? We don't rely on the president or the Congress. The Supreme Court makes that ultimate decision with that golden eye.
Well, the Supreme Court's job, just like the judicial branch, is to interpret the law. And a lot of times the law needs interpreting when there is a very contentious conflict. The golden eye of the court is there to try to resolve those political conflicts.
Say, let's not forget the personalities of the Bond movies, Andy. The Bond actor themselves. Sean Connery, Pierce Brosnan, as we've talked about. Roger Moore, the comical James Bond. And then, of course, Daniel Craig, serious, tough guy, reminds us of the Chief Justice and how John Roberts will put his stamp on this court. A lot different than some of the other Chief Justices.
See, I thought you were going to talk about the 9 Supreme Court justices possibly being considered as Agents 009.
Say, we're talking Supreme Court and how we've looked at James Bond movies that can help us learn how our court operates. I will say this, after this Supreme Court term is over, will the American people look at our Supreme Court and say, shaken but not stirred? Oof. We're the two teachers, and you're watching CitizenView.
No fancy words, no fancy soup.
Plain talk about issues you need to know.
Just in time.